main entry. There'll be a nice circle driveway there with some decorative concrete, a lot of stone finishes. I think the renderings that you guys have in your packets display it pretty nicely. That work is moving forward and should be wrapped up here in a month or so. So we are in phase 2 of site work and come together nicely. This is one of 4 pods on this floor. There's 4 more up on the 2nd floor. This is some of the clinical space that Dr. Hart was mentioning earlier for SACHS. We're just wrapping up with some of the in-wall MEP rough-ins, some of the overhead soffit rough-in work. We should be drywall in this area here in the next couple of days. So you'll see, more finishes as we move up through the building and kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks. So we're going to cruise down, we're going to hit the kitchen, we'll hit the pharmacy, take a quick look at the main lobby, and then we'll move up to level 2.
But what level of completion are we at? What would you say percentage?
On the project,
70%?
probably 80, 75, 80.
Still shooting for a May occupancy?
Absolutely. Behind us, we've got a couple of classrooms. The finishes in this area are a lot of tile, wood ceilings, high-end finishes. Right behind us is the spiral staircase for stair 1. That's cool. Also have some really nice tile steps, good-looking casework. The 3-bank elevator that will service most of the folks is right behind you, under construction. That's kind of the download this. Did anyone have any questions about this main lobby or?
I want to make one quick comment. So there is a classroom on each floor where Gateway staff and faculty and students will also intermingle with the rest of the clinic. That was very well designed so that you have as many opportunities as possible to have those interactions going on at different levels.
Could you give examples of like a class that would happen in a room like this?
Well, the other part of that is right on the outside, they're also going to have a patio. So this is going to be a perfect place to have a cooking class, a community cooking class. Also, SAC Clinic will have opportunities for the residents and or the graduate students to come and do some classes in community education. For instance, prenatal care, diabetic clinics, those types of things. That'll be a place where they can have that without having to go all the way to the 3rd floor. We want to have that easy interaction where the community feels very invited and very warm and welcome.
So right behind you here, off to my left, is the pharmacy area. So this will end up having some soffits and some roll down gates for security. All the walls full height for security as well. This is pharmacy to the left and the lab area over here to the right.
Technically on the lab, this is a blood draw station, a phlebotomy station. Now most lab work is done at big labs where you do it much more cheaply, economically than trying to run it on site. So we're not going to be running major tests here. Whereas the pharmacy will be a full-speed pharmacy. Actually, our school of pharmacy is choosing to take this on as their project. So the school will be running it rather than the medical center pharmacy, and also be training pharmacy techs here as one of the training programs.
All right, this is the future kitchen. As you can see, we're still pretty heavy under construction. Just finishing up the framing, some overhead MEP work. We started the installation of some of the equipment in here. Behind that silver styrofoam protective barriers, the walk-in cooler for the space. We've got our pizza oven right behind you, and then those big hoods is where all your grills and stuff are going to be. There's dry storage, some sitting area right here, and then actually some outdoor dining on a little patio right outside the double doors down the end of the hall.
Is this mostly intended to serve the students and staff, not so much the public?
No, this is going to be open to the public. We're trying to make San Bernardino a blue zone, so this is a vegetarian restaurant. And it's going to kind of be a bistro type of thing where there'll be kind of grab and go sort of food. as well as an area to sit here, as well as outside. But our intent, and we keep hearing this, there's no real pharmacy or restaurants in downtown San Bernardino. And so this is within two, 3 blocks walking distance of the new courthouse and a lot of facilities there. So we trust that some of those folks may come here, they're welcome.
Dale and I have our pizza order. Do you want that now or at the end of the tour?
You're ready.
But it won't be sausage or pepperoni, will
No,
it?
right.
All right, the space that we're actually walking through now is a behavioral health area. There's several consultation rooms, group therapy style rooms. Each room is a little bit different, so feel free to peek into them. What we have on this floor, you can see we've got several of the walls painted. We're just getting ready to come in and start some of the T-bar ceilings and start casework soon.
If I can make a case for mental health, this is probably one of America's greatest tragedies in my view, is the underfunding for mental health services. And it causes a lot of our problems in many different ways. So we've made a major commitment to having a large counseling center here that will be for patients, of course, as well as training students.
I don't have that problem. I'm good. I'm good, Ricky. Don't worry.
I need a relation specialist.
If it's me, then you know to save that.
Any more?
All right, so this space that you're standing in right now is one of 8 workstation areas where the students can get together and collaborate and learn. There's also 15 exam rooms per pod. And then just on the other side of this wall, we'll actually walk out and around, is the waiting areas. They call it the play station area, but I don't know how much playing is going to go on. So this is kind of the general layout of each of these pods. We'll actually walk down the hall, hang a left, and then come right back down this corridor and through one of those waiting areas so you guys can get an idea of the layout. Any questions for the area?
So Brandon, there's 8 of these altogether.
Right.
4 on each floor. So this is one treatment area with all the rooms around it. We put in fairly large consultation areas here in the middle because you'll have dialogue between the different people being trained and so on. So we're giving more space to that kind of function.
And this is very similar to the layout you'll see in any new hospital, correct, as well?
Particularly those that are teaching medical centers where you get that aspect of it.
And we promise it won't be this hot when we open the building.
The big issue we talked about in this particular case, they won't they'll come into that center and bring the ones back out again. So they won't go on the patient. That's one way of doing it.
So this general area is, there's a check-in reception desk here. Then you've got a waiting area off the east side for folks that are waiting to get treatment. There's actually 4 of these, so one area like this services 2 pods. So and they'll all look pretty similar. So a lot of nice finishes in here too, wood ceilings, some pendulum hung lights. So they look really nice. So from here, we're actually going to walk down the hallway, hang a right in front of those 3-bank elevators, and take a look at the ophthalmology area. That space is not a large open space like this, so it'll be a lot of just, walk through the corridors and kind of make our way back, and we'll fill some questions there. Sound good? Good.
About 6 months ago, to convert it to a clinical space, and kept some of the administration over to the old building in Norton. We kept the clinical space is more important. Ophthalmology needs some long channels for measuring eyesight and so on. That's what the clinic's for. Let me make one other comment on me, since I've got reporters who are taking notes. We had some debate about what to call this whole project. And where we are now at, this is going to be Loma University Health, San Bernardino campus, with two major consoles, SACHS Health System running the clinical piece, and San Manuel Gateway College on the academic piece.
Actually, the reception area for the dental portion of the building, and as we walk through, eventually there'll be 24 chairs. Anything aside from that?
No, I mean, this has been one of our most active parts of SAC Norton, the dental component here as well. We actually also carry a major, the HIV dental clinic for this whole area comes through SAC Clinic, because a lot of dentists don't want to get involved in dental care because of the risk of HIV AIDS patients. So we provided that service for a number of years. So this will be a very active part of the whole operation with the dental care.
Dr. Hart, do you know how many dental chairs there are in the?
There's 17 in the current SAC.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we'll keep those going and then add the ones here.
The space that we're sitting in right now, or standing in, is the simulation lab. There's going to be 3 different simulation rooms. One of them is going to be a OR type of setting that'll be still flexible. We can do some other simulations in there. And then there'll be 2 others that can be switched out from a hospital setting all the way to a mental health setting, depending on the things that are in the room. There will also be 2 additional rooms that are the debrief rooms. After you have a simulation, you want to have all of the participants debrief on their learning, what they saw, what they felt, so that the learning that takes place is then transferable.
In the old days, we practiced on you guys, but now everybody wants us to practice on mannequins. So these are computer-controlled mannequins that you can make do all sorts of things. Have arrhythmias, have a heart attack, all sorts of things they do with these things. So and you can throw, while the students are working on them, you can actually computer control and throw them curves to confuse them and make them deal with emergencies and so on. Some of these, the more sophisticated ones, can have babies. They can, you can do surgery on them, all sorts of stuff. So we're actually, I guess I can tell this, Garner Holt, many of you know, that runs, Garner Holt Industry produces all the simulation for Disneyland. He's talking to us about combining medical simulation with some of his characters in a way that makes these very lifelike. So you really feel like you're working on a real person when you do it.
So this is one of 2 educational lab areas. Each one of these little triangle bases represents a workstation. Right behind us is the teacher's station, and the room right next door is a mirror to this. A lot of our finishes are going in. This one should be wrapping up here pretty quickly. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
One of the challenges in any kind of this education is not the cognitive knowledge, but it's the practical skills of learning to do stuff. And so that's where we're trying to really bend over backwards and make sure that when kids graduate from whatever program, they've done it. They don't just know about it, they've done it. They practice and have that cognitive knowledge. This has been one of the challenges for many of the career colleges or for-profit colleges, is they can do a lot of classroom teaching, but they don't have the clinical exposure. So up here, we'll be training in the lab, then they can step down a floor into the clinic and be trying it out in the real life down there, trying to cement the learning.
What are you doing at the workstation exactly?
This is a combination, I don't know, however you want to talk about, the combination of everything from chemistry type of stuff to all sorts of different things that these labs are functional as.
These are all going to be flexible rooms, but they have a general purpose, these 2 especially, to be able to do hands-on science types of of endeavors. The other classrooms are more like a traditional classroom, where it'll be more of a lecture type. Each one of these rooms is going to be equipped with 2 plasma TVs. It's going to have a capability of having a camera right over the teacher workstation, so that anything that the teacher does or anything that the students do can be not only seen here, but then it can also be transmitted to other classrooms. So if we have classes that are larger than accommodate the space, we can have one teacher running the lecture part or the demonstration part, and more than one classroom being able to take part. As we develop the different programs, every program has some unique facets to the training. So we have to be flexible in how we use the space. But in general, each of these areas will have a capability of having a sink, water, and some other things so that they can do some training in here. The other classrooms will be more of the general desk type of classroom. So we have 2 science classrooms plus the anatomy lab. Then we have 3 regular classrooms on the other side that mirror this set of classrooms.
And where education is going today, I would suspect in Glendale, you can be getting stuff from here out into some of your high schools, watching stuff going on here and so on. So that's the way it's happening.
The space that we came out of was a teacher prep area. So that's going to be where we keep a lot of the equipment that will be brought into the classroom as needed. It will also be an area that will not be accessible to students other than maybe graduate students who are teaching in the college. But it is an area where they can have some other preparation as they bring it into the classroom. Having that flexibility to move in and out and kind of change the purpose of the classroom is really important. Even though this is a lot of space, when you start having multiple programs with multiple needs, you have to be flexible.
This is the library resource area. We've got some study rooms behind us, all of them glass partitions, so even though you might be off in a different room, the space is real open theme, so really nice. There's a little lounge right behind us, so a good area for students to come and collaborate and talk about what's going on.
Now, on the north side of the building over here is what, I think 9 or 10 faculty offices where they can set up and be able to function as faculty. And then this area is a critical area because this is where students can learn themselves and self-study and so on, work collectively and then in small group groups as well.
Any questions? Very good. Okay, we're actually going to walk back down the hallway. There's a larger classroom setting.